Peace and love, everyone. Hello, Janet. Peace and love, everyone, from the coast of Maine, listening to the microphone outside. Got a car coming. I'll let it go by because you might hear the foghorn. I'll turn it down a little. See if we get a little bird nest going out here. There we go. Peace and love, everyone, from the coast of Maine. A lot of traffic this morning. It's Indigenous Day weekend here in Maine. Hi, Tamzon. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Janet. Welcome. Peace to everybody. Hi, Wanda. I'm Peter Panagore, and welcome to Not Church. I got to turn the birds down. It's getting kind of noisy out there with traffic. Peace, everyone. Welcome. I'm Peter Panagore, and I'm welcoming you to Not Church this morning. Profound mysticism, ancient and modern, East and West, through the lens of my near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, union, scholarship, humor, and a lifelong practice of yoga meditation. But first, I want to thank everybody for your feedback last week, the YouTube polls, and what I asked in my last Sunday YouTube regarding whether or not I'm too intellectual in my presentations. And 75% of you said, nope. So that's good for me. Good news for me. One fellow even wrote, the best advice I've ever received is to be authentic and share exactly what and how your heart wants to express it, and let the right audience find you. Thank you. That's kind of what I've been doing, but I, didn't want to overdo, but thank you very much. That was good advice. And regarding the other poll question on YouTube, would you like me to return to our explorations of mystical Jesus or stay with global mysticism? Jesus got 44% and global mysticism got received 56%. So we're going to go with the mix. Thanks for participating. Super helpful. Hi, Zoe, how are you doing? I appreciate it. That's very, very helpful. And today, we're only going to need a script for a little while to get us started, because among the comments that I received in the last two Sundays on the talks about the comparison and the similarities, the comparative similarities between world religions, Christian, Jewish, Sufi, Hindu, and Taoist mystical traditions, and my near-death experiences on transcendence, beyond all conceptualization, and immanence, that which is here always now. Among the comments, one person asked me to talk a lot more about the greater darkness, and I thought that was a good idea. So I have much to say about it, about the subject, and we'll just see how far we get today. And if this is of interest to you, let me know. Hi, Martha. Talk about what lights you up, Peter. We're here to learn. Thank you very much. Kristen, hey, guys. Remember to hit the like button. Yeah, super duper. I'm going to see if I get the outdoor sounds again. Oh, I just love that. So today, I'm going to mostly speak without a script from the center of my heart and of the truth with a capital T that I was given to give away. And we'll see how far we get. But first, I need your help. Please join me in about, 10, 15 seconds or so, centering yourself as you know best, as you know how to do this. You're on your own, into the flow. And if you're just joining us today by recording or live here today, welcome. Thanks for being here. We'll do a little meditation right now. And I want to welcome everybody who's participating, because it's really helpful to me to join together with you in the peace that we share together. Hi, Kevin. In Thailand, we are global. I am doing well. Thanks, brother. We got England. We may even have Singapore here, but definitely we have Thailand. This is fabulous. And of course, the US and Canada. So anyway, let's get to the substance here today. These meditation moments fuel us. The study is important, but meditation matters, or a spiritual practice matters most. So please join us for meditation, teaching, and practice on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. That's when we do a lot of it. We'll do a couple minutes here. Okay, I need to calm down here. Okay. Hi, Rose. Hey, KT. Hi, Joe. Okay. A few breaths. One moment of silence is worth weeks of study. So, glimpses of infinity, portions of it from my experiences, not just near death experience, to help explain the greater darkness that we've talked about. And if you're just joining us, we've been talking about a comparison between transcendence and immanence. But in the transcendent end of things, there is a transcendence even when you're dead, because the Godhead, as Meister Eckhart talks about it, or Brahman, Supreme Self, as the Bhagavad Gita talks about it, the way from Taoism. We covered them all in previous videos. But this transcendent infinite nature is just that. It's very difficult to talk about because it is transcendent and immanent. It's transcendent, it's infinite. So the experience of union, which is part of what we're talking about here, the experience of union is inexplicable. It seems that I was set up for all of this throughout my entire life. And I really am going to talk a lot about my own mystical experiences today because I can't talk about the infinite darkness without describing to some extent the various facets that have been shown to me since I was a child, through boyhood, into my late teens, right the year before I died even. And all in that space, there were this series of out of body primarily, but also some in body mystical experiences that showed me aspects of this infinite being. And I can only see what I'm shown. I never have tried to see more than I was shown, because what I was shown was way more than I could have ever imagined. But I want to talk about my first experience with the infinite. And it was a little frightening for me. I was 5 years old, and I won't tell you the whole story. The whole story will be elsewhere. It's going to be in the movie even. The moment when I was out of my body and in front of what I later took to be some manifestation of Ganesh. I'm sorry. Ganet is a television station I used to work for. Ganesh. Ganesh. This little elephant, when I was out of my body, I was pulled into the eye, the dark eye of this little tiny elephant. I could tell you the whole story, but it would take all this time, and I want to get to the darkness. So I'm inside of this vast, when I say vast, I mean infinite space. I can't see the beginning or the end of, but the whole place as I am in it, and I have some kind of form. Yeah, I could call it my light body, but it's my light body, light, Lite. It was quite a bit not my astral out of my body when I had some kind of form. In this place, I had some kind of form, but I was less, even like 2 steps away from being human at this point. And in this velvet void, there was only love and compassion, great wisdom, but not so much that it was frightening. The frightening part happened next. I was pulled back out of this void, and I'm back in my house again with the little elephant on the staircase, and I descend, I'm told telepathically to go outside. And so I go outside, and I'm underneath the starry sky, and in a flash I saw the immensity of infinity. It appeared first. I was looking at the night sky full of stars, and then it was I got pulled into it, and then I experienced how big the universe was. But there was I touched into, or I was shown just this glimpse of the emanation that preceded the unmanifested, that preceded the edge of it, that preceded creation of our universe. And in that moment, I was overcome and overwhelmed, and I don't wanna say afraid. I think a better word is awe, but not awe like a sunset awe, but awe like, overpowering force awe. And in an instant, I was back in my body again. And so in this experience of the Godhead, of Brahman, I was sort of on the edge of it. It reserved some of its infinity from me. I don't know how to say that because how can if it's an infinity, it's infinity. It's not a portion of infinity. If infinity is a totality, but somehow paradoxically there was this edge of it, and I've been to the edge a whole bunch of times ever since. And I felt like, in addition to actually being in the light where I lost myself, this was still somehow not quite in the infinite. I don't know how to, I'm doing my best here. And so, even as a child, the first experience that I had was setting me up for the next one. And then the that was the second one. I forgot about the first one. I didn't even tell you the first one. That was when I was 6. I know I said it was 5, but it was when I was 6. When I was 5, I had another kind of out of body experience where I was taken up into this infinite darkness. The very first time. Okay, so the very first time that I was in this, I should get my story ordered. Um, this is what happens when you don't have a script. Um, At least this is what happens to me. When I was 5 years old, I got an out of body experience. I was waiting for my sisters. I was going to jump out of the tree, but I was in the tree and the leaves were fluttering and they kind of mesmerized me. And all these two tones of green and this angelic entity came and collected me first time for me and carried me out of my body. I could see my body down below and I was taken in through the atmosphere into this void of darkness. And in this velvet void, I was contained inside of this angelic entity and I had experiences inside of it, but I was pulled out of it into the void as well. And in this experience, I was like an astronaut floating in the great expanse. Only there weren't any stars to see. I was just in this great expanse of darkness, and it showed me my life contract. It showed me my life contract. It showed me my um, reason for being. And so my first adventure into this infinite darkness, I was in comfort. I was in comfort and I knew myself and I understood that I was known. And then I was sent back to my body again. So the first experience I had was comfort and being known and knowing that I was not my human body. But it was the darkness itself, the expanse of the darkness itself, just was unending. I was the only thing that I could see inside of it. And I could see me. But I was also just loved, known. So number 1, I was just in this great expanse and I was loved and known. Number 2, it was full of comfort and wisdom and intellect, and then it was so big when I went even closer to the edge that it frightened my little 6-year-old self. As soon as I became aware of the expanse of it in this Ganesh story, I was popped out again back into my body again, and then a couple more times when I was on the Appalachian Trail, not till I was 19, now backpacking the year before I died, I was taken into the same velvet darkness with similar experiences. And so there seems to be a space, a womb, where it's a intermediary state where I could interact inside of the darkness. But I'm pretty sure, given what happened next, that these were I was still only approaching, and though I was somehow in this greater darkness, I wasn't in the I didn't come close enough to the Godhead yet. It feels like I was incrementally being shown a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, so that when I died, and now we finally get to it. When I died, I saw our entire universe. I experienced. When I say I saw, it was visual, yes, but it was also experiential because the totality of love that was pouring out of the greater darkness, that was creating our universe made out of light, like a web inside of it, everything that there is, every molecule and planet and space in between, and all these other dimensions and heavens being poured out of this greater darkness. All of this love was all love. And I knew, I understood, it was shown that this greater darkness, through from which all light poured, all this light was pouring out, that beyond the light itself was a greater love than the light itself. That the light was a manifestation of this greater love, and that this greater love wove itself through all there is in this immanent form, in this very present form, but manifested from the unmanifested. And I was privy to this infinite compassionate love that defined not just the totality of me, but of everything that is a thing. And yet there was this place that I couldn't see into. I could only see what came out of the unmanifested because I was somehow a manifestation of it as well, even though I was inside it. So all of this is like those Russian stacking dolls. So I am a doll inside this whole thing, and also it's somehow I'm outside of it too because I'm not inside the infinity itself. The upshot of all of this is that the darkness, the unmanifested, the unlimited, the purity beyond the light itself is an emanation of the first source, of the ground of being, of the supreme self, of the, well, the name in the Torah, the YHWH in Christianity, the unspeakable name with no vowels, even though, people gave it vowels as Yahweh, no vowels in the original. There is this place not only beyond the language and conceptualization of human beings, but of everything that there is. And that included my soul self, which was made of the same light, which underneath the light inside me is this infinity. So it's not only woven into everything, it's woven into the light itself. And so the creator, Brahman, Godhead is, well, it's just inconceivable, not just here on earth, which gets to the whole reason why, having been in this communion state with the light, where I was made of light and understood that I was light, and one photon of a septillion number of photons, that all of the light energy of the divine emanates from this unmanifested, unlimited love, which is what my soul desires. I'm gonna stop here. Next time we can talk about the pulsing light, and we'll get into some of the other mystical experiences. But I want to leave some time to see if this is. I want to look at the chat and see if people are into this or not. Is this working? I see some hearts popping up. It's like a hologram. Yeah, it's like a hologram. Oops, you're doing fine. Thanks, Michelle. Is it like the darkness is a way for us to perceive a form of unlimited potential and love? Yes, and no, because uh, I couldn't see into the greater darkness. I just could see what was coming out of it, and the darknesses that I was inside of. Okay, the early darkness is the velvet darkness that I call this velvet darkness. It was somehow not in the totality of the infinity itself, and so that yes, okay. So, and the yes end of it is that it was really clear that the love that and light that is woven into everything there is the nature of the darkness. is that it is love loves to love itself. I love that quote. It's from James Joyce in Ulysses. Love loves to love love. And that's what this is. It's a big, huge love fest for itself. Only when I felt this infinite, unconditional love, it was greater than I can ever say, because those words don't even come close. And so, yes, it is a way for us to understand that we are the beloved itself, loving itself, even though there's these limitations to us. And it's been confusing for me my whole life, because what I know in my soul, I can't ever say, which has created this path for me that has left me somewhat outside society because of this infinite love that loves itself. So society is this freaking big compared to just Earth. I mean, my culture is just this big compared to the Earth cultures, but Earth itself is just this tiny, tiny little thing. It shows the immaterial for all cultural constructs, and it shows the love that it has for everything there is, and this great equality. And it takes away fear. I've talked about annihilation, and people don't really want to hear that from me. I'm waiting to be enfolded back into the infinite itself. What greater love is there? What greater experience is there to be, other than to be in the darkness itself, this infinite, to be an unmanifested aspect. I see this, but even an aspect is manifested. It's like this unity of oneness. And I want that one thing. And what's astounded me after my NDE is, as I was studying these things in my grad program, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, Jesus, Sufis, Taoism, they all agreed. There is this beyond the light itself, there is the self of the divine, the supreme being. Which is crazy, because it's beingness is this concept that we have, even an experience of beingness. It's way far beyond that. Is this helpful? Making Pavlov. Oh, I hope you share it, Casey. What's the best way to connect with it? Loss of self. This is what all of the ancient mystics agree with. This is why I pursued that path. I chose Kriya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, centering prayer, self-service to others, chanting as I walk, controlling my mind, because the loss of attachment to self allows the light to show itself. It's really pretty simple. If I quiet down my mind in the moment of silence, that's why a moment of silence is worth a week of study, because in the silence itself is where the connection is. And so basically the two ways, there's the interior connection and then there's the exterior connection. And the exterior connection is also selflessness. It's service to others, but not as a doormat, and not because you're codependent, and not because this is you had to do this in order to maintain your family, because the practice of giving others is a practice of self to others, is a practice of humility. And this interior practice is a practice of humility. It's a practice of accepting the exteriorly, the light that is inside of all people is you, is to see that and to practice that, and to see it in their eyes. But also, you got to take care of yourself. So this is, make sure that you're not a doormat, you're not in a violent, dangerous situation, all those sorts of things. Those are important, because that's self-love. But the interior journey is the light inside you. It's there's everywhere there is light. And so the quieting of the self allows this to become evident, more evident, and the service to others allows it to become more evident. And then there's this exchange that happens, and they both grow. The deeper I go inside myself, the more I'm able to see the light inside others, the kinder I can be and more compassionate. I'm not perfect. Make sure that you know that I'm not perfect. And but I'm striving, because perfection isn't mine anyway. There was only the only perfection there was, and will be is the light itself here. So I'm just trying to get clear. That's really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get clear. I'm trying to get centered. I'm trying to get what's the other word? Clear and I can't think of the other word. Thank you, Rose. Thank you. Another word for samadhi. It's another word for samadhi. Thank you, Rose. It's another word for samadhi. And there are different kinds of samadhis, but it's another word for samadhi. Dissolved into love itself was Brother Ed's experience too. And dear Brother Ed, I have always disconnected alone and somehow not been lonely, says Amy. Yeah, this is the thing. I can miss people, but I'm never alone. And especially in nature, let's see if we can get any birds going on. There we go. Oh, that's so beautiful. You're welcome, Ellen. I'm glad. Thank you very much. Beautiful. You say thank you. Thank you. I like the term life contract. Turn self-ego over, open to the divine, allow, accept, action. That's what it is. Allow, accept, action. Turn the self over. And next week we'll continue on in this. I've had other experiences I should probably tell you about. I've touched on them in different podcasts, and I have meet us at the top of the hour if you want to continue this conversation, go much deeper, hear your experiences at Mystic Tea Salon. The link is below in the description. I'm going to tune out here in a second or so because I'll turn it on and I'll take a break. I'll be right back on Zoom. Join us there. I want to see being love in a world that does not love is a struggle and choice every mindful moment, says Zoe. Yeah, for sure. And David agrees. Ramana Maharashi says silence is the best teacher. Also, one must know one's true self first, and self-realization is the most important thing in life, says Kevin. It totally is. All right. I love you guys. I will see you soon. Thanks for being here. Got 2 minutes before we start the next thing. Got to take a little break. Hi, Andrew. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Wes. Thank you all. Peace and love to you all. Thanks for being here. See you soon. All right. End stream.